This is a huge spectrum of expression, I think. Sculpting, communicating, building sound, filming, creating machines, hanging it, putting it in space, architecture, carpeting, everything. My name is Hankyul. I create kinetic installations that's making sound as the outcome of machine motions. When I'm building sculptures, I have this vague image inside my brain, and then I try to pull it out. It almost feels like a box covered with the dust, and then I have to dust it out. I get inspired by films and literatures and accidents in our daily lives. For example, when I mishear something, then I follow that as something to pursue, and I create the repetitive motion of accidents so that it can become a new rule of action. I have to mix these two parts together. One part is silicone and another part is the hardener. And the curing time is pretty short, so I'm trying to be fast. I could have paid for more expensive separator, but also air conditioner works perfectly already. I really like how repulsive the texture of silicone is. So now I'm gonna start making noise and flames. So these are sort of the drawing lines or the bones. And then I will add up some flesh or muscles afterwards with wood, silicone, and foams, everything. I want this folding motion to happen, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be possible. I like the aesthetics of something inaccurate and underperforming so that it can make people associate their lives with. I make machines around the theme of survival and alienation. I'm building the project over the idea that the ocean has a place for the people who has less distinctive voice to claim their space in the land. The title of the work is Shore. This frame is gonna be one of the uppermost parts, and by the flow of the roller and the keyboards pressing, it is supposed to create the similar sound to the ocean waves. So I'm using these bass strings instead of industrial wires. I wanted to make the atmosphere of the underwater, so I needed some deep kind of sound that can resonate throughout the space. And then I thought, anyways, all the frames are gonna be hanging and I need to use the wire. But what if I use the musical string instead of the wire? Then all the detail touches are gonna be influential to the final soundscape. Ideas don't come to me, I chase after them. I run after them. I'm running around to find ideas. I obsess over them. But what I wanted to make was something slimy and bony. I got to interview multiple different groups of people who are making living out of the ocean. North Korean defector who used the ocean as the escape route, the traditional divers from Vietnam or Thailand, and also divers who are working underwater as their occupation. So there are three groups of people, one body to each interview. These films were taken in the first trip that I made to South Korea. to interview the group of people who are working as Haenyeo, which is a unique female matriarchal diverse society in Korea and Japan. The most final stage, when I have to make the composition out of all different motions and sound components, when I have to focus on people's stories, what voices to keep and what voices I'm not gonna use, the part is a very emotional part for me. Making the whole narrative, building it all again for it to make a story. In the final stage, I cannot sleep properly. I wake up from nightmares of everything collapsing. I want people to feel this push and pull at the same time, to feel fascinated by the scare that it gives off, because that's what I felt from the people that I interviewed. I think being lost is in the center of my work, and I hope the people who are feeling lost in daily lives can be feeling that they belong to my work.